Hello and welcome to Critical Tumble, where a bunch of longtime friends and internet nerds transcend geography through the power of Discord to play Dungeons and Dragons and critically fumble a lot. Uh, After some running around in Egref and some unfortunate social awkwardness situations, um, they're finally looking at speaking to Cal Etielle after like 3 sessions where they just ran around Egref looking at it because it is unlike anything anyone has ever seen before. Magitech City of Wonders and avant-garde fashionistas of Equitas, apparently. So yes, morning arrives at the Riddler's stump, the bed and breakfast where y'all are staying at. The dawn chorus of the two that actually do the Palor worshipping, pausing along the way to give a little knock for little quiet knock for Froseth to see if he wants to be up for dawn meditation since everybody's doing the dawn thing. And as they're heading out, Alice is just, if I ever get pushy about the talking thing, sorry, I'm just not used to people like you, and I'll try to be more cognizant, I think is the word of that. It's like, I want to be your friend, but I don't know how because you don't tell me. Just saying!
I get it.
Good, because I wasn't sure that came out quite right. Anyway! And yeah, so the rest of y'all are left to more or less sleep while the three dreadfully early risers get their various meditations, prayers, etc. in, and then everybody is woken up for breakfast, which in this case is toast with a variety of preserves that kind of run the spectrum between the stuff that you're more used to, blackberry. There's actually apple cranberry, uh, which tastes almost like home, almost. And some of the less really exotic stuff that you got when you were in Alzor High. So it's basically toast, jams, fruit.
Happy, very bouncy Hazel. Nye cutting a piece of toast into like little squares so we can try a little bit of everything.
uh, I mean, you could just have like a whole stack of toast if you were hungry, dude.
No, see, I'll figure out which one I like, and then I'll have more of that one.
That's so ridiculous, it actually makes sense. Okay! You just get Polly giggling at the head of the table. And Alice has arranged so she's sort of sitting between Remy and Darvin, who I imagine is oddly quiet for a Darvin. And, apropos of very little, just sort of goes, yesterday kind of got me thinking. It's like, I didn't even know what I was until, like, last month. I just thought I was human with weirdness, but turns out I'm not. And, I mean, I've kind of got to wonder, obviously there have been Asmar before because they're written about in places, but I don't know if there are any more of them, if, some of them aren't just born to random families, if they have, like, communities, if there's some cultural thing I'm heir to that I don't know about, because I came out of, like, nowhere. So, I can see when you're that different, or that rare maybe is the better way of putting it, being wanting to know. Of course, I can also see not, because I wouldn't even know where to start with the questions. Really wouldn't. I should probably read things, but I'm not entirely sure that that would tell me what is happening now. And it's not like I can ask anyone with random hair colors that are that little bit too goldy blonde or whatever, because I don't even know if that's like a uniform thing. I can't just go around asking. If I could actually pinpoint one, I might ask. Then again, I might not. It depends on the situation.
Well, when I was at the temple at Belarus and I mentioned you without getting too specific, the High Cleric of Tritherion was a bit interested to hear that news, so I think the Temple of Pelor, the Elder Clerics, might keep track of these sort of things, or at least they might know something.
Yeah, that's definitely a question. I mean, I guess it probably should be Palor for me, because that's another thing I don't know. It is. I know how I manifest where I came from. Does it work the same for other gods? Can you fall from grace the way paladins who break their oaths do? It's, it's it's very much a what am I kind of a situation, and
I think you're where you should be
well, yeah,
right
duh.
here.
But on one hand, that's good. I like where I am, and I wouldn't change it. On the other hand, I can see wanting to look through all the doors the world gives you to look into, because if I just stayed on the assumption that I was where I was supposed to be right at the start, I'd be in an Armageddon cult. Or possibly killed by an Armageddon cult, all things considered, because I don't think these were gonna change. So, you know.
No, I
But it's
mean in the sense when you are where you're supposed to be, you tend to feel that. Hopefully.
that's actually mostly, not entirely, but mostly out of character, and there might be ever so slight blush. It's like, you are so bad at this, but it's cute. And sort of reaches and gives a hair ruffle to Darwin. Just it's pretty clear that this was at least partially directed at making him feel better about the gaff. When everyone has had their fill of toast and fruit and things. Okay, so are we catching a tram?
Yes.
I guess so, yeah.
If he doesn't start being himself, can I tickle him?
Mm-hmm.
Points at Darwin.
Sorry.
He'll probably turn into
I'm,
a rabbit mid-tickle.
Better than mid riddle or whatever the hell we're gonna get asked to do.
Yeah, that's
Oh boy.
part of why I've been kind of quiet. I'm kind of I'm just trying to stay calm and centered because when I'm not, and hell, when I am, I'm trying to avoid eating my own shoes again or getting turned into something else or whatever else it is that they do here to people that screw up that much. I don't really want to find out.
I'm sure we won't.
You say that, but this
Someone
is me.
has to.
Okay, that's fair.
I think part of the problem for you or Hazel is lack of confidence.
No, I think the problem is that they have no setting on confidence between none and way too much.
I guess it's probably true.
That sounds a bit more accurate, yes.
Because it's, I'll be fine. This is what I'm good at. And then they fuck up. Or I can't do anything and then they don't even try and they might be the people who could actually relate to the individual. So
Correct.
the problem is that they don't analyze each individual situation. They go by how they fucked up the last time and go too far the other way. If they fucked up through
Accurate.
overconfidence, they hide in a corner. If they fucked up by hiding in a corner, they get overconfident. And they don't mitigate. That's the word, right? Probably. Something like that, anyway. We're going
And
to
here-
go find a tram.
Yes.
Sorry, continue.
Yes, we don't want to be late.
Here I was just looking to find a nice comfy corner.
No.
I have a feeling that given this place, I mean, I know Belarus and surrounding, and I know Alzor High and surrounding, but given what I've heard and what I've been seeing since we got here, you can be curious about all of us. Those of you who were considering hiding in corners, or not saying all that much, prepare to be disappointed.
Oh
I'll just do
boy.
my best to keep it simple.
Simple and to the point.
Ruffle, ruffle, ruffle. And then they are back in the sort of central district, which is largely the government building and the large stage-like area that is the Conundrum Pavilion. You were the one who made the appointment, Darwin.
Yep. So I will go on up. But I don't. Let's see. Let me just double check. Don't actually have the time written down on my.
It was
thing.
10 a.m.
It was 10. Okay. It's written in the other notebook. So I will go up and just and say Cupcake Coterie here for a 10 a.m. appointment with the governor.
Alice sort of elbows you. You didn't actually call yourselves that when you made the appointment.
So we did. That's a great start. Great.
The Governor Etielle knows who you are. It is perhaps was left slightly less city. I think it is Governor Etielle's job for the city, for the most part. However, if you would go to your left, take the second left, and the elevator to the top floor.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
I'm assuming that you take the route. The elevator is actually quite plush, and there's more of that bottled music.
Fascinating.
Bounce, 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 bounce.
And unlike the other two lifts you've been in, it doesn't move when she bounces.
This is one of those rooms that goes up, isn't it?
You can feel it going up, but you can't feel the jiggle when Hazel is just boing,
You're
boing, boing,
right,
boing, boing.
Nye, don't worry. It's only going to be a minute.
I'm listening to the music. Like, dun, 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 dun,
And
dun,
I'm looking
dun,
at Hazel. Like, chill. Calm down.
dun, dun, dun,
You know how you
dun.
get when you get overexcited?
At which point, ding, doors open,
Oh, hey. Oh.
and you're in another plush reception area, but actually
Wow.
plusher. It appears to be the kind of thing that you'd sit visiting dignitaries in. Sitting at the desk is an elven gentleman, maybe a few years older than Nye, much paler, much, I mean, more goldy in the way of blonde hair. Ah, yes, you must be Governor Etielle's 10 o'clock. If you would like to take a seat, I will let him know that you are here.
Yes, thank you.
He sort of looks y'all up and down, and anyone who is dressed less than Natalie gets a bit of a stink eye from this guy, who is impeccably put together, by the way. Clearly, this is an individual who takes himself very seriously.
In a city of this level of madness? Huh.
Counterpoint.
If Hazel says that, you've got Alice
No,
leaning
this is out
over.
of character. I apologize.
No, it's something Hazel would say, and this is the point at which I am going to start. If you do not make it clear, you said it in character.
Once again, thank you.
So she leans around and goes, "Look, a city of this much madness needs a couple of people who are sane to make sure it doesn't blow up."
Next.
That is a excellent point.
Yeah, I mean,
Us, Alice, basically.
Hey, come on, Remy, Froseth.
Yeah, all right. I didn't mean. I meant
You
general.
sometimes, Ava.
Ready?
Yeah, sometimes.
more often than me.
And besides, you weren't the one who stood their ground in front of a newly awakened Dracolich and went, "Yeah, actually, no, I think I'm supposed to fight things like you." And then taunted it with its already deadness, so, you know. Don't put me on too much of a pedestal. I have a certain amount of street level common sense, but I've got my own things where I need to sort of stand up and smack things that maybe I should not be smacking. I mean, hello, died because I took on a red dragon the size of an ancient solo.
But you still killed.
Yeah, but died. Can I remind you, please, about the died? I think you and Darvin are the only people in and Remy, thankfully, are the only people in this group haven't died yet.
Yeah, I still feel bad about that for us. Sorry.
Hopefully we'll keep it that way.
That was once.
this-
You haven't miscast that again.
Well,
Not-
there was that
not-
one. There
not
was that
as
one
badly.
time. There was that one time, though, that was deliberate, and I apologized to Remy at the time. And if I had to hit anybody, at least it was the one in the armor.
Actually, no.
If I remember correctly, it
never
barely
died because of
it-
Darvin.
Pardon?
I never died because of you. It was the
I know it was
dragon
Clarity.
and the dagger in the back from Clarity.
Oh, I thought.
I got hit by your thunder wave, but I was
That's
lucky
what it
enough to survive that.
That.
Just from out of character hands,
Yeah.
and then you got throttled, if memory serves me correctly.
David just looks around and like,
Yes, that's right. Clarity was outright. For us, that took two. Now I
thank
remember.
Halo, I'm in
Thank you.
range then.
That was out of
Not in
character.
melee.
Yeah, to be fair, that didn't help Hazel during the Dracolich thing.
Or
No, I still got the zapped.
Well, that was a Dracolich. That's kind of a league of its own, I suppose.
anyway.
From the door, it's just this from the very upright elf. Fascinating as this conversation is, and believe me, it is. With expression on his face that's going, "Why have I let these people into my immaculate office?" Governor Etielle will see you now.
Oh, thank you.
Thank
We
you.
lost a Ben.
Thank you.
Yep.
Fuck Comcast. Up the ass
Agreed.
with a cactus, sideways. I say in honor of Ben because that was one of ours back in the day.
Yeah, I
So
think I
that's
remember
where
hearing
you
that one.
got that one. You do realize that's become one of mine too, yes?
Yes.
Because I keep absorbing everything you say.
Apparently, yes.
I mean, there are worse sources. Yeah, at least you picked a smart one.
I
That
would
was supposed to be
argue.
a com-
I would argue about that, but I'm honestly not sure how. Fuck Comcast again?
No, I just saw a Windows error message I've never seen.
Oh,
That
God.
takes some doing.
Okay, fine.
No.
Fuck Windows error messages. Up the ass with a cactus. Sideways.
Sideways, yes.
It has to be sideways.
Anyway,
Anyway, yes. The office that you find yourself in was probably decorated by the elf sitting out front because it is. I mean, there's still the mirrors in the four corners, but it's done in this just. It's interior design heaven and very very clean lines, and just it's lovely little floor rug, and there's actually walls where you can hang art, but the ceiling appears to. It looks like it might kind of actually open up rather than just being always open to the air. And sitting on the desk is a lanky looking individual of indeterminate gender with short, uh, very red hair that refuses to be tamed, and one of those offensively brightly colored outfits that you've seen from the various shops. I mean, specifically Fairy Fire, but.
Hmm.
And finally, I see you all in person. You are such cuties.
Hello.
Remy
Thank you,
bows her
Governor.
head slightly.
Yeah.
Oh, this is precious. This is just gesturing to Remy. This is precious. This is. I am used to this from visiting dignitaries. It's interesting to see that you adopt the trappings of visiting dignitaries when with some of my colleagues you have been so. What is word I am looking for? Ridiculous!
We sort of are ridiculousness in a bag or whatever it is we get carted around in, metaphorically.
Trains, apparently. You thanked me for the trains.
Yeah. They are awesome. Seriously, many times thank you.
We like them. They're not so good for travel north, but they get us around the coastline quite well. And of course there are the trolleys.
I like them, they're fun.
So, you come to me, you all. Your numbers have changed somewhat since various meetings in Belarus. So, could we have proper face-to-face introductions? I will begin because I am the host. I am Cal Etielle. My pronouns, if you are familiar with this, are they, unless I say otherwise, and I am in a they sort of mood today.
Noted.
I govern here. I believe you also know what it is that I am, so I do not have to make a display like my dear sibling in Alzor High. Please do not make me do that, because it does make Austin so stroppy when I become moving of furniture. And I believe that changing in this office would be very much moving of furniture. So,
I'm Ava. Pleasure to meet you.
oh, come now. You are more than just a first name. If you are going to be this not forthcoming, is not going to be a very good conversation and transaction for us. Please
So
do be
that's
setting an example.
Allow me to start again then. I am Ava Vanadal.
It's very good to meet you.
Likewise. And,
Alice sort of goes, technically born Alice Fearfield, don't like going by it any more than you like going by gendered pronouns. Go by Featherfall at the moment. Hi. You are stroppy like my sister in Elzer High. I like you.
Remy
Hello.
Crestwin, Paladin of Tritherion.
See, this one announces with titles. This one is fascinating. You look so like you would be stroppy, but your dignified manners is unbelievable. You just want to pinch your cheeks, but it would be offensive to your dignity, so I shall not yet.
Darvin Taylor.
Best, you're gonna kill us.
Oh, come, is that your only name? This one gave it points at LSA. This one gave me a name she did not want to say.
Out of character, so did I.
And you got called on it.
Darvin Taylor, formerly Reginald Taylor Green, formerly of Starcoast.
Nice, and then looks over at Ava. This one got a little more of the idea than you did, but I think he probably, looking at facial expressions here, I think he probably needed the win. Yes? You have the win for the moment, yes.
Pleasure to meet you.
Likewise, you are apparently trying so hard to not be silly. I am waiting for when
Quite.
it explodes. It will be fun!
I can hear the ticking.
I can hear the bunny noises.
His social experiment is wonderful. Oop.
Oops.
We lost.
Ava.
No.
No,
No, I'm
Ava's
me.
still here.
Froseth.
no, you
Oh,
fell off
wow.
my screen. Literally off my screen.
Well, Froseth fell off mine.
Yeah.
No, like Ava was like off the screen,
Oh,
and
Anyway,
Nye is looking back and forth. Is it my turn now? Sort of expression on his face.
and you did get Cal Etielle holds up their hand. Okay. The nervous-looking elf, he looks like he has thing to say. Say thing.
I call myself Nanivar Vanimar. The last person I translated that to was unhappy that I had presumed to translate it for her, so
No, I speak many languages. Thank you for being uninsulting of my intelligence, given that I am probably still older than you. If not by all that much. Well, okay, I am perhaps double your age, is thing.
I would tell you more, but that's almost all that I know.
I got that general impression. If you are going by name, that means that cries the lament for your lost homeland. Here we have word is heareth.
pardon?
Is similar. Heareth.
Okay.
But I take it they shorten to nai? Is more cheerful.
It just means one, not as in the number one, but like one might say oneself.
So
It's-
like my singular they.
Something like that. Until there are more in my.
I think you are one in. I think you are many in one, and you are one part of the many that is one.
Darvin just looks confused.
Yeah. Hold on, everyone get an intelligence check against that one.
And there goes
Nevertheless-
first with the kid. Damn.
Yeah, his connection's apparently gone to shit, and he's
3.
trying to start intelligence check on my end, I guess too.
If you want to, because if you don't personally get it and think you might, actually it's probably more of a wisdom thing than an intelligence thing.
Like I have an understanding of it, and Hazel is probably intuiting more even than me. So let's find out.
I think I get what you mean.
Would that be insight in this case then?
Not really, because that's reading somebody else's intentions.
Okay. So just flat wisdom check.
Yep.
Intelligence or wisdom, did you say?
Wisdom. This is more of a philosophy thing. This is a thing that you understand rather than a thing that you learned.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the big difference between them is like Hazel and Froseth have low int because they grew up in very sheltered communities. but high wisdom because they went into more philosophical life paths.
Just a moment. Oh,
You don't have to, you guys. You
Yeah.
can just state that your character understood that as much as the character understood that. I mean, Ava, you've probably got it right. It really is just he is suggesting that you as a team are a unit, and for all your silliness, you work incredibly well together. Unit is family. Unit is the pieces of a well-tuned machine, and he is he is one part of it, but he's not just one anymore. He is a part of a one, as well as being an individual away from everybody. With that role, Ava will see where Hazel will not, is that Cal Etielle is actually trying to draw him a little bit more into the you guys, because because he doesn't think that I should be alone anymore. And we have two left.
Hazel Hearthheart.
Oh.
Mom is Twilly Hearthheart, formerly Quick Flight, and
Twila, yes. The various academies are sorry to have lost her. I liked her. She was silly, but in the organized ways. You could see the flailing all over the place, but everything worked so machine-like. It's like looking inside clock. Everything is moving in directions that look incredibly random, and yet everything works perfectly. Is something that we mean to emulate. I sense that you seek to emulate it too. How is that going for you?
Not sure yet.
You are young.
Still,
You're a baby. You will learn. And turns to Froseth, who is the last one left.
Froseth. Rhymehook?
Yes, I've heard very much about you from my elder sister. Although most of that is speculative, because apparently you do not speak of yourself very much.
Not very much.
It's okay, I imagine it is difficult to get the word in edgewise. Looks at the rest of them.
Can be. Not that I really try much.
Sometimes I think is underrated skill that you do not speak unless you have something to say. Unfortunately, is when you do have a thing to say but have lost sight of when you should actually be saying a thing that is a problem. I am sure that you have or will develop sufficient judgment to keep silliness from becoming unfortunate. Eventually. So, I understand that you individuals would like some bottled lightning.
Correct.
And you cannot ask my brother because you have pissed him off something severe.
yeah. Yeah, very much.
You have flailed very much at my country. Not so much my province, but my country. Draco leeches and waking up things in Temple to Tiamat, and you have got so much chaos. Is unbelievable. I'm not sure whether I'm entertained, impressed, amused, angry. I cannot entirely decide.
We have done our best to clean up better, so.
At some point, you're going to have to come back through here to find a phylactery. This is This is less cleaning up mess and more sweeping it under carpet until you can come back later because you have a bigger mess someplace else. Although that mess at least is not your fault.
They seem to go from mess to mess to mess to mess.
And I am used to people making messes in places. I run this place where once a week there is someone blowing something up or skittering mechanical things coming from his lane. Or that one unfortunate incident where that batch of very bizarre vodka went to Basil Cell and it became very difficult for a while.
I'm sorry. Bizarre vodka?
It turned out into some kind of potion that it was ultimately it, what it did depended on what you mixed in with it. So people who had it neat were predominantly fine, although on floor most of the time. But you mixed it with things and you had other problems.
Oh dear.
As I recall, there was somebody belching mosquitoes for 3 days.
Wow. And I thought feathers were bad. Well, that was sneezing, not belching, but still.
Leans, pat, pat, pat. You are silly. See, the silly is coming.
Red, just a little. Just
Ah, he is adorable. I am getting to cheek pinching point. I tell you this now. So, bottle lightning. Yes, we have our tangents. We enjoy them. So, as I believe you probably understand from my siblings, there is not simply you ask for thing, I give you thing. This is big thing to be asking for. And I mean, you could take your chances with what is in the markets, but you might not get enough and you might not get the quality that you require. I mean, you still probably be better off getting it from Hiel, but getting it from Hiel at this point is probably not going to happen. No. So, first I will ask you, this is what will happen. First I will ask you what you think of my city, and I will expect answers from each of you. Because I am curious as to what you think and what you have to say, because it's an entirely new experience. You are new people and you are coming and you are giving me opinions and it will be marvelous. And then I will treat you to a lunch, and then you will take your places in the conundrum pavilion, where you will answer a riddle or not, and speak a truth. And if you do not answer, if enough of you answer riddle correctly and speak sufficient truth, then you will have what you came for. If not enough of you answer riddles correctly and do not speak enough truth, and yes, I will know this, then we will have to think of something else. Because while, yes, I understand that the world is at stake, there is still rules. Even in this city, there are some rules. We have to have some rules. Besides, it will be funny.
Method to the madness.
Slowly
He's not
turning.
madness. He's silliness. He's different. So I will ask you first then. What do you think of my first city? Looking at Ava.
It's unlike everything I've ever seen, for sure. It's amazing.
Well, give me an example. This amazing is a word you could apply to anything, and amazing could be really good or really bad.
Oh, amazing in a good way, of course. I mean,
Not necessarily. I imagine some people would freak out, I believe is word that younger people use.
well, it's a lot to take in. That is true. But it's, I honestly can't really find words to describe it. It's,
Well, perhaps smaller example. What is the thing that has charmed you most?
The colors, I guess.
I like that answer. I would have preferred something a little more specific, but is honest and is refreshingly simple.
Oh no! I think I found something more specific. The stained if there was stained glass at the station, right? I
Yeah.
think. The stained glass around the huge train station.
Ah, yes.
That was mind blowing.
We. It was made a very long time ago, but we do keep it very well maintained for glass of that type.
It shows.
Can withstand fireballs. We have
Hey.
tested.
Intentionally, I hope.
Very excitable bouncing for
Because if not intentional, I would love to hear that story.
No. We tested the station in the for the potential eventuality of something horrible coming from beneath the sea or beneath the earth or from beyond the plains to come. And so we cast Meteor Strike on this train station.
That is more than a fireball.
Well, we started small, but we worked our way up.
Wow.
Sweet potato.
So yes, and the stained glass has never had to be replaced. Cleaned often, but never had to be replaced.
Wow, that is impressive.
LSA is just, I mean, I know from cities a bit more than some of these guys, but I mean, I like how daring the place is. I mean, she's wearing her sort of corset and this little sort of cyberpunky red bolero jacket kind of thing, and the leather trousers and the stompy boots. And people don't dress like this here. Part of it's a it's propriety, and it's just this is not how it's done, and probably not ladylike or whatever. And you guys just look at something and say, I want to do this. It's not going to hurt anybody. It's going to look really weird and it's going to be really cool and I'm going to do it. And you do it. And it's great. Looks at her. Yes, I like you. I understand why you're one of the few that have not pissed off my siblings. You're stroppy, but stroppy in good way. Who is next?
I love it here.
Okay.
It is so sparkly. Everything is just all over the place, and that's just. It feels like it's me, but all over everything in a city.
I like that answer. It tells me so much about you.
And well, this is where Mom is from, and that's one more reason why it's so awesome.
Okay, this has to be done. Leans forward, pinches Hazel's cheeks. You are so cute.
Very much beep.
And Turbin's trying to motion, be like, somebody else go. I gotta catch my breath.
Who is next? He's not looking. Cal Etielle is not looking at you. Cal Etielle is looking at the ones who haven't spoken yet and the one who's not dying laughing.
Well, the shops have definitely been very impressive. Looks to Alice.
Yeah, and Cal Etielle catches the look and actually falls off the desk laughing, rather much like Spiegel is doing now. I like you. You can abandon the dignity, and yet you're still so dignified when you do it. Is fantastic. Picks themselves up, dusts themselves off, and just whoop back onto the desk. I feel better now. Yes, no. Who'd we lose this? Now we lost Ava.
Ava. Okay.
Yes? He's looking over at Nye.
That was
Oh.
on purpose. But as long as she's looking at me,
They.
Yeah.
your city is wonderful, and I mean that literally. It is full of wonders. A little too full of wonders for me. I'm one of the ones, as you put it, who freaked out. I don't know exactly where I came from, or even entirely what it was like there, but I feel like I'm more of a person of trees and fields and forests. This
Please,
city makes me feel very out of place.
please tell me you found Druidcraft. I showed him. I asked at your
was-
information desk.
I was dragged, yes. It was very refreshing. I may have to go back before we leave. But hey, your stores have shirts with plants on them.
As long as you are enjoying the amenities in a sense, it's good. And at least this is part of why we have places like Druidcraft. You will find little nooks of forestry all over the city because you have people coming here from all over, and some of them are just very much more used to, as you say, field and forest. We do have underground ocean-like grotto for the more sea-going individuals that comes in directly from the ocean. We do have to monitor that because there are things in the ocean that we do not want coming here. But thank you for your honesty. We do not take it personally. We understand that there are people who are not entirely used to that kind of thing, and we know that everyone and everything has limits. Is called breaking strain in chains and things. We do not want you to hit yours, so you go to Druidcraft whenever you need to.
That's along those lines. The thing I like about the city, there seems to be some place anyone.
We like to be inclusive, yes. We try to be understanding that everyone is different, and as long as they are not doing non-consensual harm or harm to any great degree, it's fine. You do that. You do thing, and as long as you are not hurting other people, then you should have space where you are comfortable. You are supposed to live here. But thank you. Sorry, it's now your turn.
And it's that aspect, the living. This place is alive with so much energy and, in a sense, so much chaos. But if you stop and stay still for a moment and just let it flow, you do sense there is a music here. I'm a bard, so I operate on those levels. So I don't really know how to explain it other than that. I love this city because of that energy, and you can and some of what everybody was saying, the daring, you can try any note, you can try any song, and it all just sort of comes together in this odd because I've never experienced anything like this way.
Symphony is probably what you were looking for. That or harmony.
Yeah, yes. That expansive, because there is so many different threads all coming together. That's yes, exactly.
Please tell me that you found Eclectic Light Orchestra.
Yes, I did. I did in fact buy an instrument from there as well. New for me, so this is going to be interesting.
It's a guitar, not one of the fancy ones, but one of the more average ones. I'm going to be teaching him how to play from the point of view of a gifted amateur. It will be interesting to hear the results one of these days. I am sure that you will come back for audiences. I am sure you will not be able to keep this one away for too long, pointing at Hazel.
Bounce, 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 bounce.
He's adorable, look! Yes, I am trying to think, And you found Oriel's bower? Pointing at Froseth. Ice place. Oh, good. Good. Because we do not have that many people who are naturally cold resistant, but we do find that the vodka tastes better in there, is because it is at the temperature it likes to be.
Ah.
So yes, and, by the time you've got over various laughing fits, etc. Right, I will feast you to lunch. We are going to be showing off new and interesting transmutation engine. Come, and vaults off the desk and drops out.
Transmutation. Well,
Bouncing along after. This sounds like a thing to be witnessed.
And just slams the double doors open, nearly bouncing off, really up himself, Elf's desk. We are going to the kitchens to test the transmutation engine. Oh, for the love of...
I was following
You were supposed to have meeting with trade delegation from... They know me well enough to know by now that I will be with them eventually. I had things to do this afternoon. You knew that when you were arranging your city feedly thing. This is saving the world nonsense. How is showing them the transmutation engine saving... Just trust me! Is all moving towards a final purpose. As you say, Governor, I will stall them. Do what we usually do when we need to stall someone. Tell them to take a tour of the city.
Hey!
Busyness happens, and it is a lovely city. You admit it so yourself, even if it's a little overwhelming for you. Just do not let them spend their evening in that Rakdos place. The last one we came in, they were walking funny, and I did not like to look at it.
Rakdos place?
Is nightclub run by Cult of Rakdos? Demon Cult.
Oh yes.
I'd rather go to a nightclub run by elves.
I think most of the elves that you are thinking of are not the ones that are running nightclubs here. We do have one, but it is high elves and is more supper club and ballroom dancing. And Hazel is having very youthful flashbacks.
Nope, don't want to go there.
And it actually wraps an arm around Hazel's shoulders. Come, transmutation engine. I show you this thing. We see if it works. If it works, we will have fascinating dinner. If it does not, we will have we will have chef make up something, and it will still be good. And we will have learned things.
Squee, like actual squee coming out of Hazel right now.
The kitchen. I'm sorry. They're leading the way. So by all means, converse, share looks. I don't know.
Transmutation?
Is?
I'm not even clear on what transmutation means.
Okay, I'm sorry. Arcana check from fucking Darvin. Anyone who actually has Arcana and wants to remember what...
Well, I don't actually have...
Yeah, but you have Jack of all trades and you're a fucking bard. You're a College of Lore bard.
Never mind then.
Yeah, transmutation is changing matter one thing from another.
Oh, okay. Out of character, I was thinking transmogrification, not transmutation. My bad.
No, transmutation magic is changing one thing to another thing, whereas
like an elf to a sandpiper.
Whereas evocation would be more calling something from nothing.
Ah,
It's the
I'm still
various
having
different schools of magic, like Sigwald's was divination, which is
Mhm.
knowledge and knowing things, information, future, past, etc. And necromancy is messing
Yeah.
with the dead. Uh, in fact, most resurrection magics, even if they're radiant themed, is still counts as necromancy because it is
Oh.
taking dead and becoming not. But yeah, transmutation is changing from thing to thing.
And,
So
okay.
you've got Darwin walking as Ava's going. What transmutation is? Tick tick tick, and then you get it.
Yeah. That's changing me to a bunny.
So that should we be
Changing
worried?
something to something.
Oh, okay. That's
So
a bit more reassuring.
so we're about to eat food that was changed out of something else. I wonder if it'll be served on walking tea trays.
At which
Probably
point,
not.
because dragons have very good hearing, all food is changed from one thing to something else.
I guess that's true.
Very true.
Steak was
Good point.
once cow, or possibly
Uh,
bison, or venison, or deer, or sheep,
not moose.
or
Not
moose, or actual moose.
Or actual moose, yes. Sorry, not moose is a family in thing.
Not moose.
Anything that is not moose is not moose, although I would imagine that you would not want to make steak out of the many millions of things that are not moose.
I'll introduce you to Evan when we get home.
I would like to meet this Evan individual. They seem quite wise. To point at a thing that is not a moose and call it what it is not.
I'm not sure how I would arrange that meeting, but I think he might be thrilled.
And we enter into... Darwin and Ava practically recognize this kitchen. It's the kind of kitchen that, because the fancy people don't see it, it can be really homey with the table that can fit all the kitchen stuff when they're eating the leftovers, and the copper pots and the iron saucepans all beautifully cured, and halflings running around the place. Yum, yum, yum. And except for the bit in the corner, which is the little box about dwarfish sort of height, so a little bit shorter than Remy. About half as wide as it is tall. It looks like kind of like a cabinet, except it's got crystals and bits of tubing and occasional glowy bits. The halflings are mostly avoiding it. Oh, have you come to see the transmutation engine in action then? One of the halflings, quite young, hair and little blonde pigtails. Boink. Yes, we have. Etielle is... Now, you know what we always say about science. That, sometimes the act of failure is the greatest success, or at least the greatest learning experience. That's right, which means that I want all of you to be on that side of the machine, at that side of the room, away from it, because in case it explodes or something, or starts spitting out vampire bats like last time, you'll be out of the way, okay? Because I do not want to see you hurt.
Ava does not look comfortable suddenly.
And the little halfling turns around. Come! I'm to go to the academy when I grow up. I probably won't be making that noise when I get there, though. At which point, Cal Etielle fiddling with dials and things. Who has a favorite? Someone name me a favorite.
Favorite? What exactly?
Food, of course.
Hazel.
Blueberry pie.
Yes.
Of course you take that.
Is not full lunch, but we have that. We have that cooking, so it's fine. It's fine. I will try this.
Ava takes a few surreptitious steps back.
Nye takes a few less surreptitious steps back. Not more the developing kind.
Alice is basically standing in front of all of y'all.
I'm like this. I'm like leaning.
Oh god.
I'm trying to be as close to where the safety area is, like as close to the safety area as
Yeah,
I
you
can.
can
Like,
you
I'm
can
just
you can
bouncing on
stand
the
you can
edge.
stand a little behind Alice, but she is because Remy's not wearing the armor. She's the toughest one of y'all right now. So if shit's going to explode, the dragon's going to take the brunt of it, and she's going to take the first bits of shrapnel.
Bounce.
Okay. After various bits of fiddling and whispering into a weird kind of horn thing sticking
Ava
off
just
to the sides of it.
watching like
Okay, we will see if this does the thing. I will witness as I press the big red button.
It just had to be a big red button.
of course it did.
A jolly candy-like button.
Dragon.
You had to push the red candy-like button. You just had to push the...
The machine judders, and then blueberry pie filling sort of spills out from the edges of the
Ooh. Oh, so
open-
close.
opens up, and a little pie plate with half-cooked with half-cooked pie crust just on top of
Oh,
things.
so close.
I will have to send this back to the academy. It worked somewhat better than it did last time.
Oh, so close.
At least
Oh,
it's
that was
exploding again.
brilliant.
Vampire
But
bat
that
vampire bats required so much less mopping. Well, the mess they leave behind did actually require a fair bit of mopping, but that was not in the kitchen because they mostly got up through the chimney. It's fine. It's fine. We learned from this. And what do we learn from this, Delilah? That someone needs to figure out how to actually make it cook things. That is a very good lesson. Yes, that we will begin there. I think. Perhaps you should help them figure this thing out because clearly you have far better ideas than they do because you immediately think that yes, maybe the food should come out cooked. They did not seem to think this.
Out of character. Is this the super stove?
No, this is the transmutation engine.
I love this guy. It's so funny. But that's
This
so
thing
funny.
is amazing. Still out of character.
Okay, well, apparently the transmutation engine is somewhat less miraculous than I originally intended, but I do at the very least there is silver lining to this. Glorious silver lining in that I can show off the wonders that are my kitchen staff. They're working internship. Is you see part of what we do in the city and the country and at large is that anyone who is willing to do internship with business or something civic within the city, they get automatic free tuition at the academy.
Wow.
Belarus does something similar, but they are more into the military because Hjal is very much shield banging. But we need some of those, especially on the coastline. It's fine. But yes, we have some wonderful students who well, they are interested in the magitech culinary arts, are more interested in things that will make the cooking happen better or faster rather than actually creating the food, like the not so miraculous transmutation engine.
The idea is really clever though.
Yeah, I mean, I thought it was. I mean, okay, yes, it wasn't fully successful per se, but it was so close, so close.
Yeah, I mean, got what you
Oh, I loved
mostly
it.
got what you
It
wanted.
was. I mean, it was fascinating.
So, if I may ask, what goes into the transmutation engine to get transmuted?
Just about anything, really. Currently, we have a block of wood, but when the technology is perfected, any waste product. So
Oh my goodness, that is amazing.
the things that you perhaps cannot compost, they go into there. So anything from irreparable broken furniture to is better if it is something organic,
Ah,
wood
I was gonna say
cushions.
you can turn the furniture into food. Sounded
Well, wood is plant matter.
wood, cloth,
I guess.
not so
So
much metal. I'm assuming.
no, it apparently is missing some vital component.
Mm.
That you can have things with metal things in them, but they have to have the wood or the cloth or
Mostly organic, at least.
something along those lines. Yes, there is something. We have divination people who are building machines to look and see what that one thing that metal does not have that wood and cloth and well,
Mm-hmm.
okay, most cloth, because we have cloths that we make from things that are not exactly what you would consider from plant or animal.
Oh,
Is a chemical byproduct of other things that we make.
oh, fascinating.
I mean, they some of them do work in the machine, some of them not so much.
Hmm.
But is the sort of thing that you would actually have to go to the academy to actually study the science of it. I know much of it because obviously I have been around long enough to watch everything as it develops and grows. Is like garden of scientific madness and occasional explosions, and I love my city so much. And little
Can I
Delilah
just
is.
can I just say that you exemplify the type of excited and wonderful energy that I was trying to describe, and I love that so much.
Well, I should hope so. Your city should your capital city should reflect who you are. My sister in the desert, she has thinking and going out to find something to hit and coming home to creature comforts, alcohol, and wonderful sex. You have you have Hyal, who has everything that a mercenary needs to be functional to the best of their capabilities, which means good beer, decent shopping for every conceivable need, but not necessarily the fripperies and the occasional bar fight. And then you have my elder sister who is up in the frosts with her books and her deep thinkings. And then there is Ambir. You have to see Ambir to understand Ambir.
No.
And Delilah is going, I understand that there's a touch of disappointment about the transmutation engine, Governor. But we do actually need to feed him lunch. And yourself. You see, my interns, they take care of me. Yes, thank you, Delilah. What are we having today? We are having duck in orange sauce with roast potatoes and greens. It's not so much blueberry pie for dessert. However, I'm sorry to have to say, we have, however, a coffee cake with mocha icing.
Oh,
That sounds great.
Bounce, 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 bounce.
Cal Etielle looks at you all. Now, you are technically visiting people of certain amounts of importance, and I'm supposed to bring you into big fancy dining room with the chandeliers and the tablecloths and the little mechanical butlers and the things and it's sending out interns as well because some things you have to have actual people do because as good as our mechanical are they apparently lack protocols that give them things like manners Manners is apparently a lacking thing, but I really do not feel like doing any of that. Is stuffy and boring, and I will not have it. Do you mind terribly if we just
I
sit
think
at the
we all
kitchen
agree.
table?
I think we
I
all
would
agree. No need to
love.
make big formalities on our account.
I would much prefer something a little less stuffy. Yes,
Exactly.
I am happy here.
Yes, for the person who went to Harley's Surf and Turf and for what is sort of on the realm of stuffy and invented a whole new challenge for the restaurant to actually make it less stuffy. I should salute you for that, sir.
Silent image. Darwin fleeing the table, leaving the half-eaten concoction behind.
Actually, no, it was not half eaten. I
He
got
ran-
down fairly far in that. That's why I had to run so quick.
Well, yes, but the phrasing is not 80% eaten.
I do not know whether to praise him for his ingenuity or stick his face in the blueberry pie filling for his lack of tact.
Ava just shakes her head at Nye.
It looks at him. At one point, you're going to have to decide which of your patrons you are most like. I know which one I think would probably be better for your friends, but we are not going to discuss that at a lovely lunch. Now, please sit. And food arrives. Is good food. For what is technically, fancy. I mean, Ava and Darvin know from their experience that just about every meal, unless you grabbed it with the kitchen stuff, was always fairly fancy. But this is clearly what would have been served anyway, and it's a little bit more involved than what you'd get at, say, the Golden Bow or something like that, but it's still pretty solid food. Except for the cake. The cake is apparently Cal Etielle takes their dessert really seriously, and it's this beautiful sort of 3-layer wodge of you smell the chocolate and the coffee.
Oh, God. This looks like it was made on Cake Boss, and it's deific levels of amazing, doesn't it?
Yeah, and it's even you've had Delilah actually decorating it, and she's put in it just music notes and wings and stylized dragon bits and leaves along the side and sort of shield crossed with swords in the middle and arrows sort of crossed behind. And while you guys were eating the dinner part, she was making this cake into work of art that reflects bits of all of you.
Extremely happy me. The happiest of half elves.
Well, I'm hoping that when I get to the academy, I can go into more of the culinary sciences, so that we can maybe get some better means of decorating the cakes.
That's already really impressive.
I was thinking more in the way of colors and edible glitter.
Ooh.
It's fantastic for birthday parties.
Yeah, I
Happy
guess it
party
would be.
sounds.
I sometimes think that it's just Mr. Trick that you didn't grow up here. But then again, I suppose another god decided that you needed to be someplace else. Gestures to the symbol of Palo around your neck.
I'm making a mental note to have at least one birthday in my lifetime in this city.
Oh, if that being the case, you'll want to book a milestone birthday in advance at the restaurant you're choosing, because they'll make a fuss.
Oh. And I'm gonna
Your
pull
your
out
your 20th is coming up.
I'm actually like I pulled out a little piece of paper because I have a tiny little bit in a pocket, and I'm actually like writing all this down.
I mean, Harley Surf and Turf will go all out for you.
And I'm already infamous there.
But just about every restaurant in the city has got at least one sort of private room that, particularly for a milestone birthday, if you're feeling particularly frivolous, for a fee they'll let you have it, and they'll decorate it all up for you, and they'll give
Oh,
you
brilliant.
a choice of party menus.
Thank you so much for the information. Yay!
I'm already sussing out which one I'd like to work once I've graduated the academy.
Do you mind me asking? Because this is amazing.
Well, I haven't entirely decided yet.
I see.
Harley Surf and Turf is somewhere up there, but there's a couple of dessert themed restaurants that I was also thinking of.
Ooh.
But I'm fairly sure that I can let you know when I've actually got there. Anyway,
Thank you.
you enjoy your cake and do try the coffee. I do a little something extra to it.
Such as.
Oh, it's not like that. Just
Fruit
go
No,
and
I wasn't saying so. I was just trying to.
Surprise!
yeah, you've got Cal Etielle looking and going. I know it does not mean that much coming from someone like me, but I am simply going to experience the adventure. Grab, swig. Woo! Goodness. Reminds
Grab.
me that you were due a bonus, young lady.
Grab. Smaller swig, but swig.
Yeah, exactly. Small swig.
Follow the
Yeah.
dragon's example.
Oh, you're going the whole heart. I'm like, good sized mouthful, but not like the whole thing.
Of course he is.
It's a
Of course he is.
there's a hint of there's a hint of Irish cream. There's a hint of cinnamon, clove, chocolate creaminess.
That
I've
hits.
got
Like,
that.
gurgle, 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 gurgle. It's like, poop. Oh, damn, I need more of that in my face right now.
I've gone full. I can
I am not
see
curing
through
the headache.
time.
Oh, no, I can anyway.
Sorry, I did not hear that. Please, if someone is talking, wait until they're finished so I can actually hear the wonder that is the thing you guys say.
Ava, you.
Yeah, Ava, can you repeat that, please?
No, I was saying I'm not healing your headache, but then I remembered I can't anyway. So.
Yeah, and
Meanwhile-
it's not that much. It's enough to flavor it. It's not enough to get you straight up drunk. It's basically a shot of Bailey's plus various syrups from the looks of things to turn it into a creamy spiced mocha with just that little bit of Irish cream warmth kind of thing.
That's why, yeah, that's what I like, the warm. Ooh, more. And now it's just like, oh, that's so good.
I
I
am
basically going sip, 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 sip.
Just slurp, slurp, slurp.
Hazel.
I am so fortunate in my staff. I love them so much. I will be sorry to see them go, but this is place for caterpillars to crystallize into butterflies, and then I share them with the rest of my province.
And bless you for it.
So, I will wait for you in the Conundrum Pavilion. You have 15 minutes to gather yourselves.
Mhm.
I should warn you, is not all the time that I warn people, but it felt like we have a rapport. I felt you were worthy of being prepared. There will be audience when this happens.
Having seen the pavilion, it's not completely unexpected.
Yes,
Thank you for the forewarning.
it will not be an accidental audience.
Oh,
People from the academy will be there. People from the
Oh.
more important little ministries that I have that run some of the more business-like aspects, they will be there, or they will send representatives. And there will be curiosity seekers, and rumor will have spread.
okay.
There will be audience. We seldom get people from I mean, okay, Belarus, yes, sometimes, but various parts of Baron Sphere, parts unknown. Froseth and Nye for that one, because he's not entirely sure where Froseth comes from and is not going to assume. They will be as interested in the truths as they are in the riddles. I will try to be kind, but there are things that need to be known before I allow the bottled lightning of the quality that you need for what you are seeking to go out into the world.
Understood.
Makes sense.
I will know your characters beyond the city and the adorable and the adorable hidden by the shell of dignity. Oh, you are so cute! Looking at Remy, and Alice is just, yeah, you see, they get it. Okay, you are also adorable. Strange and loud and brash, but adorable. Yes, I will go and I will prepare the Conundrum Pavilion. And if you wait by... Well, Delilah will show you where you need to go. And then there will be announcements. It will be fun. And zoom. Delilah puts out second cups of the coffee. It shouldn't get you drunk, but it looks like you needed a little bit of fortification.
Remy definitely needs it.
Mouth open. Beep.
Delilah sticks an extra piece of cake in there before the coffee goes in.
Riddles, huh?
A riddle and a truth.
I think I might be more actually.
And a truth. There's no or here. It's not a truth or dare.
A truth or
It's a
no. I'm thinking of both parts. I'm thinking, I know few truths about myself, but I know nothing. I'm not confident in my ability to answer riddles. I will put it that way.
Well, you'll just have to see, won't you?
Yeah.
All we can do is our best.
Besides, you were quite upfront with him, as far as I've been able to tell from the gossip that goes on around here about what you do and don't know about yourself. It's not so much a question. You see, you're thinking about truths about yourself as things about your past, things you did, things you were. They're gonna be more asking. I'm sorry, he was yesterday. They're gonna be more asking about how you feel, how you think. And if you don't know how you feel and how you think, then I don't know how you're walking around. You react to things. I mean, you do react to things, don't you? Well, then there you go. They're not a factual sort of governor. They want reactions, they want how things fit and how things go and how things are made to go. They'll be far more likely to ask motivations for current than they will any information, straight up information. They're not very much a fact sort of individual. That's what they leave us for. I'll let you sit and have your coffee and have your discussion and let me know. I'll start looking attentive and kind of worried over in the corner over there when your 15 minutes are up. And
Thank you.
And when you're ready, I'll show you to where you need to start. And sort of Neum to start helping a bit with the dishes. And given that it looks like there's going to be some thoughtful and slightly stressed out, in some cases, silence, and we have reached that time, this is a perfect place for us to take our break. And when we come back in a few minutes' time, we will play the Truth and Riddle game.
Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy.
And we're back. The Cupcake Coterie is about to go on stage for Truth and Riddles. It's going to be fun for them. Yes, it is. So after the 15 minutes of finishing your second cups of coffee and Delilah doing that, okay, I'm not really hovering, but I am because it's time thing.
Haven not having any because she's already nervous. Too nervous.
Yeah, she leads you to a sort of a side door. It's kind of anyone who's ever done the theater thing knows about the side door that's sort of a waiting in the wings kind of thing.
Mhm.
And then opens the door to hear Cal Etielle announcing, "So today we have for you the Cupcake Coterie, new found adventuring party, and potential saviors of the world entire. We announce them by first names in order. Alice Featherfall, as I understand it, barbarian, entertainer, and all-around common sense." And steps up. She
I pat her on the shoulder. She get good luck.
Yeah, just sigh, and but just as she steps out the door, you see just the shoulders back and the same kind of posture that so caught the eye at the Tipsy Pixie, and just all confidence. Waves to the people. Eva Vanadar of Cedar Grove.
Try and have a not quite as much, but at least sort of not look completely ridiculous.
Yeah.
Channels her inner Vanadar and match it out.
Darwin Taylor of Goldendale via Star Coast.
And walk out like I'm walking out on stage. As I've done time and again. Dude, I'm on a stage. This is my element right here. It's a different connotation, but it's still a stage.
There are an awful lot of people, and there is applause as each and every one of you hits the stage. Froseth of Rhymehook
Walks out calmly, straight, as perceptive as he can.
Hazel Hearthheart, Cleric of Pelor.
Bounce.
And actually gets cheers for the sheer enthusiasm.
Oh, God.
Nanyar Vanimar.
Oh, you're muted, dude.
You're muted, Ben.
Or at least I didn't.
Ben, no, it's...
Comes out trying not to be seen.
Really difficult.
Remy Crestwind, formerly of Carter's Combine, now Paladin of Tritherion.
Remy wrinkles her nose a bit as she's looking from off stage. Then, goes on parade rest as she steps out.
I present unto the people of Egref the Cupcake Coterie. And this just way from group that's at least a third halfling. A couple of people that you recognize from the Farmer in the Dale are in the front row. Just you can squee, bounce.
Almost simultaneous bouncing for me.
It's like I wave, and then I happen to catch Hazel out of the corner of my eye, and I'm watching the synchronized.
The same thing I was doing. Down,
you see the
over.
shoulders. Yeah, you just see the shoulders bouncing because I'm laughing. I'm laughing so hard.
Oh, goodness.
They come before us on one part of their great quest, and they will provide for us the answer to conundrums, both general and personal. Again, we go in alphabetical orders by first name. Alice Featherfall, please step forward. She steps forward and just does the little sort of curtsy in the trousers, but hey. Your riddle is as follows. I am tall when I am young, and I am short when I am old. What am I? Do you want all the answers to that, or just the first one? Excuse me? You could be a pencil, or you could be a candle. I like you!
Very eloquent.
Now your truth. You could go anywhere. The governor of Anbir and points surrounding would have you in a heartbeat. You could have had pride of place among the brass arrows. The people of the wastes around Damil would have you as strong leader. You could work at any mercenary company you would. Why these people? Thinks about it for a second. Well, there's adventure. There's very much needfulness. Not just for the world, because there is stuff going on that can't really be talked about on a stage. It's not yet. The story is still too in progress and wouldn't be able to do it justice, but there are things that need fighting, and a lot of people fight that on the fringes. You fight, and she's actually looking at the crowd now, you fight the staid, narrow-minded types of thinking that let the bad things just kind of creep in, and Belarus and places surrounding fight with weapons the people that serve the badness, and Alzorhai's brass arrows fight more concrete examples of how weird it all can get. And Demille, as a city, fights ignorance, and Anbir, as I understand it, is a bit more on the theological side, but these guys are going to the heart of it, and that's something that I can really get behind. But in the end, it's also because I love them. Not just the one you're probably thinking, looks at Cal Etielle, but the little sisters I've never had, the kind of quiet cousins that I can learn from even as they maybe learn from me. The brother near enough my age who really needs to be kept out of trouble. They need another front fighter, they need the common sense, and they need someone who's willing to be the kind of brash that I am. And I know that sounds really full of myself, but given the lengths they went to get me back, I don't think I'm wrong.
Remy's cheeks color a bit as she looks to Alice from the corner of her eye without turning.
Well, you very definitely speak truth from your perspective, and it would appear from theirs. At least some of theirs. The others are a little hard to read, but... Thank you. Please step back. She steps back into the line. Aveline Vanadar.
Ba-dum, 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 ba-dum. Not super thrilled at having the name thrown out, but well, not much you can do about it.
Very, very quiet whisper. Don't worry, no one here actually knows anything about Baronsphere anyway.
Okay. Steps forward.
For you, Riddle. If you have me, you want to share me. If you share me, you no longer have me. What am I? And if I hear anybody typing while I ask these, I'm
just writing it down to remember the phrasing. If you have me, you want to share me. If you
share me, you no longer have me. If you think she'd know it, and you don't, you can make a wisdom check.
Can't quite tell she would.
I don't know. She might be more...
I'll give it a go.
Yeah. We'll do the roll, and I will set the difficulty to what I think Ava would know or not.
Okay. Wisdom, you said?
Yep.
Come on. Not too bad. 17.
And whisper incoming.
You want to share secrets, but once you have, you no longer have. It's no longer a secret.
All right then. Truth from you. You have a very specific mission, I believe. Personally. They have a much longer running one. When your part in this, your personal part in this is done, you will have the option of walking away. Will you take it? And why or why not?
I guess it depends on how my personal mission, as you put it, ends. But as of right now, I have no intention of walking away, even if I do complete said mission.
Apparently still waiting, because there was a why or why not attached to that.
Because I haven't known them very long, but they've become like family.
I think,
And you don't abandon family.
all right then. That is sufficient truth, I think. Please step back. Darvin Taylor.
And steps on forward.
For you, I think a suitably Egref's riddle. What invention lets you look right through a wall?
Brilliant. A window.
There are many answers you could have given in Egref, but this is the one that one hopes for, I think.
Brilliant. That was brilliant. Brilliantly done.
For your truth, the mention of need and love and family has come up already quite a bit in all of this. You are not in a similar place as your friend Eva. There is apparently not much you could go back to in quite the same way, but you could carry on, except you could not. How do you feel about this? Where your life is now, as compared to as it was?
I've lost a lot very recently, comparatively. I can't go back. However, as a bard and as myself, I can carry those memories forward, and I can use my deeds, I can use my craft, I can use my music to carry those memories forward and spread them. And as long as the songs are always sung, their memories will never fade. The memories of Star Coast, the memories of my family, the memories of those that we've lost. I can't go back, but I can keep going.
Insight check from Darvin.
14.
Looks obscurely disappointed, but nods and gestures you back. Froseth of Rhymehook. We will challenge you, I think. What occurs once in every minute, twice in every moment, and yet never in 1,000 years? I will let you make a wisdom check on this if you. Oh, there you go.
I got it.
Say? I didn't quite catch what you said. What he said.
M. The letter M.
Brilliant.
There is much talk of moving forward now. This seems to be a theme for you. Is there any circumstance under which you might look back to a point that perhaps is not currently entirely available to you? More to do with perhaps where you came from rather than where you grew.
Let's see.
Also, your mic is way down there.
Is that better?
Yes, much. Thank you.
Sorry. Like, not completely sure if something came up that would point direction. I don't think I know what I do until it happens. Right now, got purple forward. I resolved the things I've wondered. Well, I'm not sure resolved is the best word, but I come to understand things about my past that left me wondering my entire life up to this point. I like whatever might happen that would have me looking back there. I wouldn't abandon this or where I need to. There's several reasons for it. Everyone here is than I've known before. I may whether they accept.
Your mic is breaking up really bad. I am so sorry.
Yeah, sorry. I've issues with it. Result.
And it's just I hated to interrupt, but the cutouts were interrupting anyway.
Yeah. Let's see. There's some. Can you hear me?
Yes, now we can certainly.
Okay. Like, yeah, as I was saying, the people here are closer to me than anyone before. I made a promise I have every keeping. See anything that would stop doing that if it's has looked back.
I think we are gonna have to leave it there because you do keep cutting out so badly. I really hope you said what you needed to. I think you might need to invest in a new mic.
And
It's fine for short bits, but I think weirdly enough, it's when it's up there that's the problem. When you've got it down there, I can't hear you very well, but at least you don't seem to break up. So, 6 of one, half a dozen of the other. And you actually get a sort of a clap on the back from Cal Etielle. I do not know if this tells me what I should or should not advise Viev about something she was discussing as regards you, but we can speak about that later. Hazel Hearthheart!
And I'm stepping forward, still kind of bouncing / vibrating through both enthusiasm and nervousness.
Riddle, I think that will fit well your upbringing. Take off my skin. I will not cry, but you will. What am I? You can make the wisdom roll if you need to.
Yep, I'm gonna do that.
It's good enough. You've actually heard Miranda joke about that with Twilly.
Like, you can see cogitating, and then the almost everyone around can see the internal clunk as the gears lock into place. Onions!
Oh,
You are adorable. You make your you make your faith quite plain, and you hide very little from the looks of things. Why is collecting as much family as possible so important to you?
Because the family I was born into wasn't one. And if I can keep other people from having to deal with a family that wasn't, then I'll try and do it.
You are adorable. Go.
Back in line.
Nine-yar Vanimar.
Steps forward, clearly terrified.
Riddle for you. Alive without breath, as cold as death. Never thirsty, ever drinking. All in mail, but never clinking. What am I? And yes, you're gonna have to make your personal wisdom roll for this because you probably know it, but Nye's Nye.
Yes, I know it. Life without breath, as cold as death, ever thirsty, drinking, clad in mail, thirsty, without breath. Silent image, a fish.
Very good. Okay. You are your own level of adorable. I ask for you much the same question as Eva. You do not come from here. You are stranger in many strange lands with many strange people. If you had the opportunity to go back to where it was that you came from, would you? And why or why not?
Out of character here, can I assume everyone else is lined up and we're just like stepping forward one by one?
Yep, that's exactly what's happening.
Gives a pained look back over his shoulder at everyone else. It would be an extremely hard decision for me to make, especially if it was a one-time thing. There are things going on here that need to be dealt with. There are debts I have incurred. There are there are things that need to be put right, and I would want very much to do that. But against a one-time chance of going home, the truth is I don't know what I would do.
Is fair. And ushers you back. Remy Crestwind.
Remy steps up, still parade rest, the hands behind her back.
Relatively simple riddle for you. Feed me and I live. Give me to drink and I die. What am I?
Remy's jaw sets as she thinks.
Yes, you can make the wisdom roll if you feel you need to.
Fire.
Alright then. You have the look about you. You, with your hard exterior, hiding so many things. Or protecting so many things inside from what is out there. Perhaps. But you strike me as a person who is being nudged, perhaps, in a number of directions. You have oaths, you have vows, you have all manner of things. I'm trying to think how I would best word this question, but in the end, you are a military person. Look at you. And you are with this decidedly unmilitary bunch of people. You know what needs doing, or what your god perhaps says needs doing. Is there a particular reason that you do not find someone who works more in the ways that you appear comfortable showing? Why them, beyond they were there?
They're good people. I think at the end of the day, that's all there is to it. I guess, in a sense, I was guided to them, but it's certainly I still choose to be here because of who they are rather than how they act.
You were kind of a funny look. I hope one day you learn the lessons that they have to teach you. Step back. And then turns to their people. These are your heroes. What say you, people of Egref? Short pause. And then the applause starts in the front row from the little blonde and red-haired halflings. And the rest of them pick it up. So you think I should give them what for they seek? And there's just this way from the crowd.
I'm just drinking in the applause. It's just like, it's been a minute since I heard that. Because I haven't had time to actually perform lately.
Oh, my people have spoken. I will go and I will speak to this fine people. Enjoy the gossip and information I have provided for you today. The Conundrum Pavilion is now back to ordinary hours. Thank you very much. And gestures to you guys and herds you all back in.
I wave in the way as I'm walking off.
Still bounce vibrating.
Alice kind of reaches back past Ava just to upside Darvin's head. She's laughing as she does it, but she does it.
I'm on stage. I gotta do it. I'm sorry.
Yeah, so am I. I'm as much bard as you, asshat. And
Ava's shoulders drop as when they finally out of the.
ushers
Feeling
them
worse, I guess?
ushers them back into the kitchen. I thought perhaps they would be more comfortable for you.
Thank you.
Now, what I will do is I will tell you where you need to go to pick up your bottled lightning. You tell them that I sent you.
Mm-hmm.
You would not know where to find this place unless I told you, so there will be not too much in the way of problems with verification. Because people the likes of you do not simply trip into a building and ask for bottled lightning by accident, at least not building like this. Froseth. You know my elder sister, she is fond of you. She feels quite upset about things that she always wants to protect those of her descendants, and she feels that she has failed. And she wishes to make right. I was wondering about asking this. I was the one who was to next see you, you see. And as your next step is to home, this seemed an appropriate time. This is the most serious you have ever seen, Cal Etielle, by the way. Actually, they go a little bit more feminine when they get the more serious on. So I have to ask you two things. Do you know name of any of your family? And if you could have them back, would you? Just dead silent for a second.
Oh god, we broke the monk.
Ava just reaches out and touches his shoulder.
It's more like up.
Yeah, he's 6.5
Yeah.
feet tall, and a lot of it is upper body. So, yeah.
I
Perhaps better question. Do you know if any member of your family that you might have names for might want to come back? It's not just for you.
yeah. I That's not something that occurred. Ask with I had.
Oh, and you're still cutting out, dude.
It's not just my mic. My connection to Discord seems
Oh,
bad.
I see.
It from every.
Great. The one time we actually get you to talk, and it's.
Yep.
And again, this could have been happening for like months, and we wouldn't know.
Um. But yeah, like I learned the name of my sister, but I wouldn't answer.
Unfortunately, is something that you probably would have to. So, if you know the name, do you know enough about this person to know? I mean, to be fair, given your wisdom score and the things that she said, you know, she was clearly the adventurer. She was the go out and discover and try all the new things and never got to.
Yeah.
Damn it!
Her name.
I'm still not really hearing you.
Oh, I was mumbling under.
Oh, okay.
I swear I put her name in my notes.
Faraday.
Either.
Faraday. Farideh. I don't think that even with a baseline 0 intelligence, I don't think Furseth's ever forgetting that name.
No.
And again, that's one I had in my other freaking notebook. I gotta lay hands on it somehow. Sorry, Antius.
Yeah, it's one of the few things I was sure I was gonna put in. Because yeah. So yeah, this ferret.
And this is a thing that you think she might want.
Very likely.
You wait right there. Gets up, leaves the room.
What do you think that was about?
I think that was about the kind of thing that Hazel did to me, but on a grander scale. Some you don't need the body for.
Oh boy.
Cal Etielle comes back with a rather large, uncut diamond. I think for this, any of you who are not the family may wish to leave the room. Gives a and Delilah, she's the youngest of them, but she's still herding out the rest of the kitchen staff. Come on, come on, come on! You know the governor feels more comfortable in here. Out, out, out you go, out you go! Shoo, shoo, shoo!
Ava tries not to show it, but she can't help feeling a little. Because she has a feeling she knows what's happening, even if she's wrong. She thinks she knows. So.
I'm like looking around, going, "Wait, I'm technically not. We're not related, but family."
And then sort of, there's gonna need to be a bit of space, I think. I'm not even allowed to stay in this. More or less my kitchen. Out you go.
Okay.
Ava's just silent.
I'm going wherever I'm being herded to.
Yep.
And it's literally just outside the door. Clunk. And,
Same.
and Delilah's just, we'll just sit a bit. And this got to be something of a private moment. And just sort of sits on the floor, pulls knitting out of a pocket, and knit, knit, knit. This is apparently somebody who cannot keep still. See, if I knew how to knit, says Alice, I would do that.
I am watching the knitting. Rapt attention.
Yes.
Just drops straight down, bonelessly thud.
You okay? Nye. You okay over there?
The governor asks very insightful questions.
Yeah, they kind of do.
Hey, Nye. I don't know was a perfectly valid answer. I get it.
Yeah.
For what it's worth.
Here's the answer I wanted to answer, which was I'd stay here. And responsibilities. And the shit I've dragged all of you into.
Alice, I just
And
sort
then
of grabs him and kind of hug.
Yeah.
Pat, pat.
There's the answer, I'm afraid, which would be take me home. To hell with everything. Take me home.
Darvin's on the other side. Just
And I'm gonna join in too.
somewhere.
To
Stockpile on the hill.
this is someone who's having a moment that Hazel is familiar with on a certain level.
Dude, everybody's got a different definition of home, and you've been through shit. Answers change. That's why I don't know is perfectly valid. But I tell you this much. I promised you. When we helped bring you back. I promised we were going to help at least find that one piece of family we know is floating around out there. And hell or high water, I will make sure that if you still have a home to go to, that you will not only have the one chance. We both survive this, and your home still is, I'm getting you there. So never worry that it's going to be a one-time only offer.
I second that.
Yep.
I'm not sure exactly how we'll get you there, but we'll get you there.
We'll find a way. This is where we are being positive. This is where we don't even mention the potential issues when he's already feeling bad enough about. You remember that the whole thing about the shit he dragged us into, which is bullshit, by the way. I mean, the main reason I know that is because, I don't give you guys any grief for having all of a sudden involved me in the whole current situation.
Sorry.
Oh,
Sorry,
shush.
no, I should have put that better.
While this is going on and it's comforting, the elf is. I do not think that watching is a thing that will specifically happen. I just wanted someone familiar to her to be there instead of a crowd. Where did you get the name?
I don't know exactly how. Temple to the rules.
Yep. Oh, that very old one. The stone of goodbye? No, farewell. That's it. That is it. Yeah, so you spoke to her. The soul should remember. It might be a little bit strange, however, because Liev has given me the means to resurrect, but not to resurrect to appropriate age. So she could be younger than you. Might be a little bizarre for her.
Yeah.
But I will do this thing. But I will need your help, I think, to call her back a little bit, because this is a Bahamut thing. They would not have been able to help in this case. Bahamut will listen to others, but they do not know this sister of yours. I can speak to Bahamut on behalf of dragons in general. You have both the dragon and the family, so you can call to her direct. And just sort of sits. Okay. And in Draconic, this is my sister's magic. I do not entirely know how it works, but all she said to me was to speak unto this diamond that if her great-great-great-great-great-grandnephew, Froseth, had a family member, that he wanted returned to him and to the world, because there are not enough silver dragonborn in the world anymore, and I can respect that, that I should call for them through this diamond. This is all very bizarre. There are not enough lights and bubbles. And anyway, I call for Faraday of Rimehook to return, and I do not call alone. I call with Froseth of Rimehook, younger brother. And then gestures to Froseth. Do not need to say that much, I don't think.
Faraday. Wheel conversation. But so I this and I'd love prop.
This is painful. This is so fucking painful. I think I got the general idea, but I'm not hearing any.
Yeah.
I didn't hear anything.
Sorry.
It's not your fault.
I heard I in this. I was like, oh!
I heard a little bit more than that, and I weirdly, even with the beard, I can lip read well enough. But yeah, and the diamond lights up from within and actually gets too bright to look at for a moment. You guys can actually see the light come from under the door.
Ava doesn't. She's just looking
Well, no,
lost.
it's still spilling out from under the door. This is like tiny sun in there,
Oh.
and you're not in a particularly well lit corridor.
Well, she notices it but doesn't acknowledge it.
And when the light fades, there's a little 10-year-old dragonborn in a somewhat scuffed up dress and an equally scuffed up sort of coat with pockets and just okay. I wasn't entirely sure where I was expecting to turn back up, but a kitchen wasn't it. And looks over at Froseth. Oh, hello. Still lying down and still it's still resurrection weakness, particularly because body out of nowhere. Hello.
Hello.
Wow, you got big. You didn't really pay much attention when you're not like with proper meat hands. It sits up with a bit of difficulty. Can I have a hug, please? Boom.
Sit there for a long while, hugging.
Yeah, she's not saying much. Just I have a really big little brother. This is
I have a really little big sister.
And Cal Etielle just kind of leaves you to it, and so walks out when that's happened. Okay, we are going to give them a minute. I would not even have been there if I hadn't had to be. It's a very powerful magic, but my sister is a very powerful woman dragon thing.
Mouth open, shut, open, shut, open.
You see a
A little bit of
well,
squeak, shut again.
anyone who notices, well, who looks, may briefly see something glisten on Ava's tea and she just walks away.
We cannot do this kind of thing for everyone. It doesn't say it really. They don't say it really loud enough for Ava to hear. Darwin probably catches it.
She wouldn't be listening anyway.
Nye is still in his heap.
I do not know if this was the best thing to be doing. Viev does not know the entire situation, but in all fairness, silver dragonborn are much more rare than they should be, and humans are everywhere.
No one have a stupid man.
Elves too. If we could resurrect the world entire, then the bargain and the diplomacy between Pelor and Nerul would be meaningless. They do not give these favors lightly.
Yeah.
And it turns to Hazel, you remember this, little cleric. You will be able to do similar one day. And you will have to learn when is appropriate. When Pelor wants you to. In this case, Bahamut wanted this to happen as much as Viev did.
Just silent, sort of reverent expression.
Just go give that look to her when you are in Damiel. I did not have anything to do with it. I just spoke words. The magic was hers and Bahamut's.
I'll definitely do that.
Nevertheless, thank you for your part.
I am not sure whether thanking is the best thing given some of the reactions. I notice you are not having it so much, given the speaking of everything you have lost. And Alice is like, I didn't lose anything that I couldn't afford to. But I'm gonna say this real quiet because he's got relatively good hearing, if memory serves me. Can we try to just focus on the being happy for him? Envy doesn't become us, guys. Hearthhome has a new kid. Can we celebrate that?
Very much, yes.
Ava?
Tongue's back in.
He doesn't deserve our envy.
I apologize if I came across as rude.
And she just sort of turns around and hugs you before you finish the rest of that. I'm sorry. I am sorry for everything that you've lost. I am sorry that you will 99.9% likely never get it back. I am sorry that that handbag with pretensions and that bint that you apparently share blood with did this to you. I am sorry. I am going to stick my axe so far up that half-dragon bint's ass that you will be seeing the tip when she yawns. Okay?
Not before I stick my sword in her.
It'll be a joint effort.
Logistics. We'll figure something out.
Either way, they'll get the point.
Oi!
Oh,
Mm.
no.
And the mood, and you got Cal going, this is how you work! The mood is now appropriately lighted. It's fantastic! You have the brash and the huggy, and you have the absolutely ridiculous! It's fantastic! This is how it happens! This is how the magic happens! It's wonderful! Oh!
See? They get it!
The moment Ava is let go of by Alice, there's a Hazel hug happening.
Yeah, Alice just steps a couple of steps back, so whoomp.
As
Hazel,
you're being
Hazel.
lifted a little bit too.
Hazel,
Like,
breathing,
off the ground.
Hazel, breathing is a thing that needs to happen.
And the Froseth Faraday hug pile is kind of get the yelping and the Cal Etielle excitable, and it's like, I should probably go and meet your friends and see what all the noise is.
Yeah.
Okay. Hops up the table a little bit. Whoa. Okay, haven't used my legs in a while. Okay, I think I'll be okay. I'm good. I'm good. They're very loud.
Yeah.
I've sort of seen them little bits, but I'm still gonna need introductions anyway. Are they gonna like me?
I am sure they.
Okay, 'cause actually, where are we? This isn't home. Home isn't,
No.
so. This is a kitchen.
A governor's kitchen.
Okay.
We are the worst influences because you weren't clear at all.
Well, no, it's just this seems to be enough for her. It's like, okay, wow, this is what the governor's kitchen looks like. Okay. very much I'll figure out why in context as we go. Okay, meeting people because I'm sure that if it's a governor's kitchen, there's probably going to be a meal that needs to be prepared at some point. So, people,
Yes.
and out pads Froseth with.
Ava
Of
quickly
course,
wipes her eyes to not.
you guys. I don't even think you guys necessarily knew about Faraday. He never said anything because he never does. So when
Not
he
if
when he comes out with 9-year-old apparently female dragonborn. Hi.
I finally drop it.
Hi.
I just drop Ava.
Head pops up from elf pile.
Hi. You okay? Looking
I
at Nye.
grab Hazel. Do not squash her.
I've had better days, but
I probably haven't so much, but then again, I haven't had a whole lot of days the last 16 years.
looking up at Froseth.
everyone, this is Farida, my little big sister.
So cute.
Well, it's very nice to meet you, Faraday.
Truly a pleasure.
Oh my God, welcome.
Looks up at first. It's cute, really?
It's
Vibrating Hazel is vibrating.
Will she stop bouncing like that if I hug her?
for
Maybe.
the moment.
Maybe. For the moment.
For the moment.
Good point.
It's in a good cause, but pads up a little bit unsteadily and whoomph around Hazel. Here you go.
Very careful returned hug.
Little dragon hug.
No.
So you're adventurers.
Yep.
That's kind of neat. Where are we besides the governor's, outside a governor's kitchen? Please.
Egref.
It's across.
It's something you have to see to understand, I think, really.
I think Mom mentioned it once. She did occasional diplomatic work, but never heard all that much because I was still too little, and Frosa didn't because he'd only just hatched. He was cute. Still is, just bigger, less compact cute. So I'm not entirely sure what happens now. Well, apparently we go on a little adventure to pick up some lightning in a bottle, and we probably do that tomorrow because I'm not great with dragonborn faces, but I've seen Froseth tired enough to know that you actually look kind of like you need a dinner and a bed, and we're gonna have to talk to Polly.
We're gonna you broke up. We're gonna have to talk to
Polly at the Riddler stump,
because now we have a new. We need a new room.
or at least like
A new bit.
yeah, to see if we can't squish a bed in somewhere.
Yep.
Would it be churlish to like apologize for being inconvenient?
Don't be silly, you're not inconvenient.
Well, I'm apparently really unexpected.
You are you, and you are awesome.
Yeah, there is that.
The good kind of surprise.
That you are. That I will admit. But in a good way.
Thank you. I'd probably say reserve judgment until you've met me properly, but I was the sort of person who, I guess still am the sort of person who got a lot of yelling at for, will you come inside? It is dinner time. Can you please get out of that mud puddle?
Oh. That I am very familiar with that.
That's basically any child. So.
Well, I mean, it was me, but
There is to be Hearthhome eventually, and you'll definitely see.
I've got kind of an idea. I don't remember a whole lot about what I kept an eye on, but I tried to keep an eye on him much as I could. I wanted to watch him grow up. And I kinda did.
And up and up and up and up.
Shut up, Ben.
Yeah, seriously. And Cal Etielle is sort of, well, welcome to you, small silver one. It's good to meet you. And unfortunately, I do have other business things to attend to. Yes, anytime you go and you follow the directions that I give you, I'm assuming he gave the appropriate directions while people were hugging it out, and you go and you get your bottled lightning, and you go forth and you lay waste to wastes of space who give my species a bad name. Does that sound appropriate?
Yes.
eminently so. It has been a pleasure.
And I apologize for my
No,
reaction. It was
you,
nothing against you or anything.
I know this. You see, listen, and actually hold out a hand to take one of hers if
Yeah, sure. Allow it.
if she lets them.
I'll allow it.
Is and just sort of cups your hand in both of theirs. Only reason that there was worry and concern and this sort of thing is because no one wishes to see you upset, and we know that we know that you have lost much. Is why the apologies is not we were offended or anything like that. Is just I think no one with any. I think it would take someone who only has a heart in the most physical of senses rather than the ones that we normally mean to not respond to pain like that. If there was something that could be done, it makes us wish that more rules could be bent. Is all. Nothing upsets people more than being faced with the inadequacies of what they can offer. Now go and find your new young friend some dinners and have some celebrations, and you did well. I am surprised by the one of you who was less apt to cut to the heart of the matter. If it was going to be anyone who avoided what they felt themselves about the people around them, I would have thought it would have been Crestwind. I would not have thought it would have been the Bard. If you have mostly the others and your own Riddle prowess to thank for the success of that, sometimes you have to go beyond the abstract and cut to the heart, at least when you are speaking to us. And turns to Remy. Thank you for your honesty, as far as you could take it. And what I meant was these ones have a lot to teach you about when you can take the armor off and put the shield down.
I will keep that in mind. Thank you.
Turns to Hazel. You're adorable. Looks over at Nye. I hope that you find what you are looking for And that it is still what you are looking for when you find it. Whatever
I
it
thought
is.
halfway through that sentence, I thought, before I find what I'm looking for, I need to decide what that is.
Looks at Ava. I think I've said my piece. Mr. Furseth. There is a personal component to what has just transpired, but is also more that culturally you have more of a future now than you did. And you and the people that you trust are partly the caretakers of it now. Keep that in mind. And turns around to Alice. Hjal and Bahir and everybody, just about, thought you were insane for passing up the things you did. I am going to scream to them from the rooftops that you made the correct decision. Maybe not for their organizations. I don't even know if necessarily for the world, but you surely did for them, and most of all, you did for you. Glances over at Remy. Have fun and good luck. Now off with you all!
I look down at Faraday. Should probably find you some clothes too.
Oh no, she's dressed in kind of scruffy dress and scruffy coat. This is what I was wearing when everything went. I threw a spear. It was a thing. It didn't go very well. But it glances up at first at Preeti. Went well enough though.
Well, onward then, I guess.
But I mean, if there's some place I could get something that's a little less tattered, I guess maybe.
Well, that's what I meant.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. We're here, so we can definitely find places that are like
Oh
that.
yes. Oh yes.
Yeah.
Darwin finally chimes in, breaking himself out of his little contemplative, not really funk, but quiet, I suppose.
Reverie.
Thank you. That's the word. I couldn't catch it. Thank you. What's your favorite color?
I like purple.
We're gonna get along great.
Purple and blue and this kind of turquoise aquamarine kind of blue-green.
Okay.
We can definitely find those.
Okay. And when you step out of the government building, she looks around and it's like, there's absolutely no white here anywhere.
It is a lot.
Wow.
Yep.
And then there's the absolute blank that could be anything from just stunned to absolutely horrified. And you guys have seen just about enough of Furseth to know what a dragonborn smiling looks like. Just toothy beam. Oh, wow. Is all of the world like this?
No.
No.
This city is unique, at least as far as
Yeah.
I can tell, unique and unto itself.
There's plenty different and all kinds of things to be seeing.
Oh yeah,
And
there is
just
so
one
much
facet of
exploring to
it.
do.
Here or in general?
Everywhere. There are everywhere. Like I said, there are so many places to explore everywhere.
And sidles up to Frozen and hug.
Is her back?
I get to see
Lifts her
things.
up, puts her on
Whoop.
his
Yeah.
shoulders.
Okay, I was expecting not to do this to you. This is weird, but fun. I do have one question. I don't know if you're going to be as strict about this as Mom and Dad used to be. I know that there's going to be dinner, but can I please try some of the squishy bears now? It
It's just
sat
under
on
that-
that bench and taunted me.
Oh,
Just
sorry.
out from the
Thank you.
just
Oh.
hand it. Hail the mighty tallest.
Speaking of things that are in bags, you haven't met Flitty yet.
It pokes head out of Alice's bag. Oh, tiny dragon. Even tinier dragon! Yes, fairy dragons! It was too cold for them where we used to live! Hi! Hello!
And this is all draconic too,
Yeah.
isn't it?
Probably.
I still have the helm on.
And Flitty just sort of flies up onto the top of Faraday's head, who's on top of Versa's shoulders, so...
So we have a dragon stack.
Yeah!
Full stack of dragon.
Did you just fall off your bed?
Yes.
He,
I
he,
did.
he starts rocking when he starts laughing a terrible lot, and he's done it or come quite close a few times already tonight. But yeah, no, they
You can fall.
just to keep moderate pace. I'm assuming someplace like Rainbow Connection, just to get her a couple of dresses to
Yeah.
get her
that was my
through the
thought.
next little while.
And maybe some like more travel practical clothes, like trousers.
Well, hers was more of a travel dress. She'd actually
Oh,
been put
nice.
into that to flee for her life,
Mm.
as if you know, I
Yeah.
don't even know if Ava knows the story, but
Mhm.
most of you know how Froseth was taken out of the out of his settlement, but
That was why Darwin's reaction was the way that it was, because he remembered the details that he had been from before, and so it was like, oh. So that's why the quiet stunned.
yeah, and as I recall, it was going to be the big ass seafood restaurant place for dinner, and yeah, so oop,
Did we lose that time? Remy.
no,
Oops.
but yeah, no, you basically get a little dragonborn girl who's kind of hoping that everybody orders something different off the menu so she can try a little bit of everything. This is person who wants to basically explore every given thing possible in.
In which case, I probably would wait, see what everybody else is getting, and go out of my way to get something else entirely to make sure that happened.
Yeah, we'll assume there's enough variety for her to try a couple of different.
Or we
bits and
just do the
pieces.
thing where we order a bunch of dishes and everyone just like picks off of them.
That too.
Mostly because these are actually more plated meals rather than
Uh,
that works better for shared meals like Chinese or Indian.
Yeah.
Point.
Either way, dinner happens, and it is a great adventure for the for the littlest dragonborn, and
All the fish.
and
The
then
Littlest Dragonborn. It sounds like a storybook.
It does, doesn't it? So cute.
Alice is probably writing it in her head as we speak.
Remind me to post the one about tacos later.
Okay.
Anyway.
we're just winding down for the evening because obviously a little earlier than usual when you get to when you get back to the Riddler stump, because you now have a child to deal with, and obviously she's quite tired. So somebody's gonna have to talk to Polly about living space or sleeping space or something. Of course, you haven't seen any guests other than you, so.
Seth, Faraday.
Do you want to do it, or do you want me to?
with-
Well, Froseth, I'm assuming this is going to come out of group funds, so which you have.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I figured I was gonna go make the mention, but I figured all and let's bring Froseth and Faraday to just make the introduction while I'm at it. Do you mind?
Go for it.
I get the impression that you're probably, out of everybody, the better one at introducing kids. You've
Yeah.
probably seen a terrible lot of them.
That's pretty much my family in a shell nut.
I mean, I'm gonna end up staying with them.
Probably. I'd like to hope.
Well, I don't.
Unless you don't want to, that's.
No, it's not that. It's just that, obviously I hope there's going to be at least a little bit of time to get to know Froseth as a person rather than a hatchling. But also I don't think I can go adventuring with you yet because I am
Well, we're
very
going to
small.
be heading up probably into dangerous stuff, so I don't think.
Well, that
Froseth
wouldn't
would
bother
want
me
to.
if I was as old as I'm supposed to be.
Yeah.
You'll get there.
That's very true, but I'm still never going to catch up. You took the I'd say you took the shortcut, but you didn't really.
No,
This is confusing, but
I think maybe it's a case of you hit a roadblock and only just got past it.
Blink, blink, blink.
I can't think of a good analogy better than that. So
Well, yeah.
Mm.
so yes, Faraday has entirely too much enjoyed the trolley. It's just the gnome fare taker actually even lets her ring the little bell. Ding a ding a ding a ding a ding.
Mm.
And into the Riddler stump, you all have your keys, but it's still fairly early, so Polly is up and knitting, and there's cats everywhere. Kitties! Hi! Just trying to pet this cat is looking at like new people, small new people. In that cat sort of, am I liking you? Ooh, you can scritch. You can scritch. You stay. Yes, okay. Because yeah, the rustiest purrs. Well, welcome back to you, and you have very small house guest. Hello.
Yep.
Complicated story.
This is Faraday.
Actually,
Faraday. Yeah, sorry. That's my bad.
you can just call me Fari.
Faraday it is then.
And do I see a family resemblance?
Yep, you
My
do
sister.
very much.
Well, goodness. I think you are probably of a little bit too much of an age to be sharing a room with the gentleman, and I think that you would have to be much, much older to be sharing a room with those two. And gesturing in Remy and Alice's direction.
I mean, if it's easier, she could just
I'm
bunk
just
in.
suddenly looking at the ceiling.
Well, no, you
If
see,
it's easier, she could just bunk with Hazel and me.
well, that was my thinking. You see, because I think that we can probably fit we can fit a smaller bed, as long as we have strapping persons to bring it in.
Happy to help.
About to say that's not me.
I can magic it.
Please do not. It is a little bit harder to control than.
That's true.
And besides, you will frighten the cats.
Fair.
This literal
Good
cat.
point.
I'm already on at least one cat's bad. Well, I was on one cat's bad side. I'd like to not get on any others. Thank you.
Yes, you will actually find several hairballs horked into various of your belongings, and
I figured as
on
much.
your pillow.
I figured as much.
That's what prestidigitation's for.
Yep.
But eventually, you manage to man, woman, and or dragon handle a small bed up the stairs, and Farida is sort of, you know that thing where you've got kids who are really excited and they look like they're absolutely full of energy, and I don't want to go to bed, and as soon as they lie down, poof.
Yep.
Yeah, they just sort of.
My
I pull
nephew
out- I
all
pull
the
out-
damn time.
I pull out Butterscotch. You be quiet and calm, right? And I set him next to Farida.
Okay, that's a point of cute damage.
I know. I'm like, oh. I'm gonna need mending on my heart. That was in character.
I'm going to just reach over, clamp a hand onto Darvin's shoulder, cast mending. So it's just, it's like tick, glow.
Just,
It's like in that short In a Heartbeat where the little bits of the heart get put together and they've.
Yeah.
I love you, Hazel.
And Flitty, meanwhile, has sort of curled up on the pillow next to her head, and leans neck up to look at Froseth. I know that you probably want to be close to her for a little while yet because I see things, but because you can't be just now, I will keep an eye on her for you. Promise. Hey, curls back up and apparently goes to sleep. So.
Okay, let's all get some rest.
Yep. And
How late at night is it?
it's only 9:30-ish, so.
I'm exhausted.
Yeah, it's been a long day.
I was thinking of trying to find the trees place again, but maybe in the morning.
Well, if Nye says that, Alice sort of pulls out the map, leans it out. It's open late, and I gave them money, so all you have to do is knock on the door.
Well, I'll spend a short time. I'll be back.
No.
No problem, no.
And Alice also goes, also, you might want to check out the garden. You remember that place with the rose bushes and shit? It's kind of like that, but with less boom.
That's what I was thinking about the invention that lets you see through walls. The boom that removes the walls.
Yeah, that's more than seeing through them, but yeah, if you don't want to wander out that far on your own, because I know this place is freaky, you can. She doesn't have. She doesn't have. I mean, she doesn't have only roses. I think there's some kind of fruit tree out there, and there's obviously a kitchen garden full of herbs. It smells kind of nice. Nice place to do dawn prayer, certainly.
Nye nods and slips away.
If he's going into the back garden, it's like a really well maintained sort of smaller version of the the secret garden kind of thing. Walls, trees, and you can't really see much of what's going on in the city. And all you see is the wall of the house, and even that's climbing ivy.
What a day, huh?
Yeah.
Well, no one ever said this stuff was going to be easy, and unfortunately, it seems like these people consider hitting monstrously big things easy. Well, I guess when you can turn into something that deadly and big, they probably do. Anyway, I'm gonna stay away from the garden kind of area and leave Nye to his bits and pieces, and let's just hope we don't run into anything we would regret taking a child into.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's places I want to go, but I can go there later with like 1 or 2 people.
Well,
Different day.
don't we have to come? I mean, tomorrow's like our last day.
Uh-huh.
We arranged it that way. So, like, we had to come back anyway because we need to look for a phylactery. So, I mean, from here, it's just a matter of finding passage back to Gray's Inn and then up to Goldendale, isn't it?
Yeah, we shouldn't really dawdle.
No, I mean, we don't know when the first snow is gonna hit, but it's gotta be soon.
Yep.
Mhm.
We need to be getting a move on.
That's why I mentioned, because that means we're just figuring out what our plan for getting the way back is. 'Cause that can wait.
That's something we are gonna have to discuss in the morning, and I guess we probably could have discussed with Cal Etielle, but I think looks over at Froseth. I think some things are more important.
Mm-hmm.
We'll figure it out.
Mhm.
Yeah.
But for now,
For now.
I demand bed.
I concur.
There is very
Garvin
much
just
to be sleep.
walks
and
off in the
low.
direction of room.
Yeah, and really, all Alice demands at that point is, at the very least, cuddles.
Yeah, Remy's happy about that.
And on that note, we've gone a little bit past a regular time, but things needed to
What a
happen.
way to end it.
So yeah,
Yeah.
we will return in 2 weeks' time for brief collection of bottled lightning and trying to figure out how to get back to Baronsphere. See you in 2 weeks.